What's going on, y'all? You're tuning in to Occupy the Media, and I'm your host, Paco Elijah. I know I've been out for a couple of weeks, been kind of busy and tied down at work, and then we got hit with this coronavirus, and it's like all chaos now. And so I don't really have anything prepared or put together, but I just want to touch on a couple of thoughts that I have and, just give a little rant here about this coronavirus and about the markets. What is the answer? What is the cure for this? And what I think is that the answer to this, as far as the government is concerned, is that the government should do nothing. Okay, that means that it should have no quarantines, no travel bans, no shutting down businesses, no tests, no vaccines, no nothing. And I know people are like, oh, that's crazy. What do you mean we ain't going to do nothing? We're just going to, sit here and wait for all of us to catch it? Well, no. We got to ask ourselves, what would we do if government was not here? Okay, so if government wasn't here, we would have a free market. Right, we'd be a free society, not a perfect society, but we'd be a free society with a free market. And the answer, right, to solve this crisis, the market and the coronavirus, you have to leave it up to the marketplace, to the people. Okay, so if we didn't have government around, what would we do? Well, I'll tell you what we would do. We would all make our own personal decision about what we should do. Right? So we would all collect information and research and do our due diligence, right? Not researching what the government's telling us, because remember, in this scenario, the government's not saying nothing. Okay, they're not coming out talking about the virus, talking about numbers, none of that. Get rid of the CDC, get rid of the Fed, get rid of the FDA, get rid of all of that. Okay, and get the government out of it. The government should just be silent. Okay, so that way we can do what we feel is best for our families and our businesses and our employees, and then we make a sound decision, right? And then more information will get out there without being disrupted, without being cut off, without being blocked, okay? And all this information would flow around, and whoever has the best answers, the best solution to this coronavirus thing, well, the population and the people are going to gravitate towards them, towards their message, or towards what they're doing, okay? And people will voluntarily do what's needed or what's right. Okay, so for example, I'm personally, my belief is more along the lines of herbs and plants, for health. I don't believe in vaccines. I don't believe in, getting shots. I don't believe in medicine. I don't take over-the-counter drugs, none of that. If I get a cold or sick, or when I got the flu about a year and a half ago, I just drink some ginger tea. That's it, until it's gone. So that's me personally, right? So I'm not going to flip out about this or get scared about this. I mean, I'm not going to go around people who's coughing or, sneezing or whatever, but I already don't do that. Okay, but I'm not going to be walking around with a mask. I'm not going to be washing my hands 10,000 times a day. I'm not going to be putting none of this hand sanitizer on. No, I'm going to do what I usually do. Stay clean, good hygiene, stay away from people that's sick, and then that's pretty much it. Keep my desk clean, got me some wipes. And that's about it. Okay, so for me personally, I'm not going to be doing much of anything because I'm not scared of it. Okay, but let's say that you are, right? Let's say other people don't feel the way I do. They don't believe that herbs and tea and natural plants can cure your problems. They believe that you got to go to the hospital, go to the doctor, get shots, get pills. Okay, whatever. All right, so let's say that you believe in that, right? Well, you would have the freedom to do whatever you feel is necessary to protect yourself. So if you want to join other people and you guys go take shelter somewhere because you're scared of the virus, well, then you guys can go voluntarily go and do that. If you own a business, right, and you think along the lines that I think, then you can leave your business open and just say, hey, everybody, protect yourselves. If you get sick, call out sick, whatever. If you're a businessman that's scared, right, and you do think this is serious and you do think people can die and get sick, well, then you can take the initiative upon yourself to shut down your business, to send your employees home. Okay. And another thing is, too, these businesses are getting scared of being sued, right? Because if you get sick, you catch the coronavirus, you can sue them and then say, hey, they should have let everybody out. They should have shut down. So that's another problem here, is that there really should be in a free market, there's no such thing as suing anybody. Unless there was force or violence and you're pressing charges, there's nothing to sue about. Okay, it's freedom. It's personal responsibility. If you go to work and you get sick, well, no one forced you to go to work, right? No one forced you to be there. So nobody should be able to sue their employer, but of course they can. And so now the employer's got to overreact. Okay, but in a free market, free society, what would happen? They would do whatever they want, and you would know that you can't run to the government, so you would have to make a decision on whether you want to take a chance on going to work or not, or losing your job or whatever. Okay, so that's how this free market, free society would work, is that people would do what they feel is best, and whoever is coming up with the best ideas, whoever is giving out the best information, well, that's going to grow on its own. People are going to gravitate to that on its own, on their own. Okay, but we don't need a bunch of force. We don't need government force, especially if government is the problem. And think about it. If government is the problem, how can government be the solution? Right? That doesn't make any sense. So, like I said, the answer to the coronavirus is for the government to do nothing. And now we talk about the markets. The government, what is the answer? For the government to do nothing. Again, let these corporations fail. Let them go bankrupt. Let whatever's going to happen, let it happen. Because when it's all done, and these companies go bankrupt and people lose their jobs, well, now some new entrepreneurs are going to take over. And they're going to hire people and give better jobs, better wages, okay? We might have better products, better services, okay? Because now people have to make sound business decisions because the government isn't there to bail them out, okay? It's just so funny how people talk about the poor that are on welfare and how they're lazy and they're bums and they just want to hand out. But yeah, here we have these CEOs and all these corporations, all these rich people that's on CNBC asking for a bailout, got their hand out, talking about the government needs to do something, but they're not bums. They're not welfare bums. Come on, of course they are. A whole bunch of them are, because they're all coming on TV talking about the government needs to come now and save them. And what do they always bring up? They always bring up the people are going to lose their jobs. Like they care about the people. If you cared about the people losing their jobs, all you CEOs and you corporations would have saved up money for a rainy day. You wouldn't have gotten so much in debt. Maybe you wouldn't have given out so much bonuses, to your board of directors. So they don't really care about the employees. They just want to use that as an excuse. So that way all of us, the rest of us, join in support for the bailouts and say, oh, yes, I know it's bad, but we do got to come in and save them, because then otherwise people are going to lose their jobs and everybody's going to be out of work and it's just going to be total chaos. No. Everybody's going to be out of work for a little bit, and it may be a little bit of chaos because we can't get around it. But at the end of the day, we have to let these corporations fail. We have to let Wall Street take a hit. Okay, that's what we have to do. And nobody wants anybody to lose their job. Nobody wants to be out of work for a couple of weeks, be strapped for cash, strapped for money. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But at the same time, nobody wants this crash and this type of recessions to keep happening every 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. Okay, while the same people take advantage of us and get rich, and the rest of us are just living paycheck to paycheck to get by. No, we need to let them fail, let them go bankrupt, let all of these phony capitalists get a taste of what real capitalism is. Let them get a taste of that, okay? Because real capitalism has no safety nets. Nobody's protected, okay? You take the risk that you want to take, and you reap the reward, all the rewards. But again, if there's no reward, then you reap all the losses. Okay, that's just how it is. Okay, so if you're scared, are you worried, then don't own a business. Don't take a risk. Just find somebody else who's taking the risk and go work for them. Okay, but again, the free market will solve all this, not the government. Remember, no government force. Don't force nobody to do anything. Okay, don't force the taxpayers to pay for no bailouts. And don't force any Americans to be subject to any testing or any vaccines. And don't force corporations and businesses to shut down. All of that is going to tank our economy. So to me, it just appears to me that the government's not trying to solve anything. It's at all. All it's trying to do is tank our economy on purpose. And that might sound crazy, but I don't know any other way to look at it, because our government's not stupid. They're not dumb. They know that the actions they're taking are only going to make things worse. Okay? Unless you think the government thinks it's doing the right thing, unless you think the government's actually trying to help, but it's just too dumb to do the right thing, well, I'm sorry. I don't believe that. I don't fall for that shit. Okay? I don't believe that they have good intentions and they're trying to do the right thing and they just may be uneducated or dumb, or they don't read the Constitution. No, they know. They know what they're doing, and they know that what they're doing is going to make things worse. So if they know that, and they're continuing to do it, well, the only thing that I can gain from that or get from that is that they're doing it on purpose, is that they want the system to crash. And then that way they can implement martial law, and then they can soak up more power and more control. And remember, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You got to ask yourself, at the end of the day, does the government care about my safety, my job security, and my health? Is that why they're doing all this? Or does the government care about its power, its control, and its wealth? Which one does it count? Come on, sit there. The person that's listening right now, sit there and ask yourself that. Does the government doing all this because they care so much about your health and so much about your job security and your paycheck? Or are they doing this because they care about themselves, their power, their control, and they want to spread that more, take up more land, take up more businesses, take up more money? You see what I'm saying? It's about the government growing. That's all it's about. And our liberties shrinking. And it's about time that you realize that.